Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of book recommendation for beginners. Part 1 is already on my channel. In part 1, I basically talked about thrillers and short books, and in this one, I'm going to talk about historical fiction, literary fiction, and romance. So let's start with historical fiction, and the first book in that genre is The Nightingale by Christine Hanna. Now, this is the first book that I ever read when it comes to historical fiction, and I immediately fell in love with the genre. So this book is set in Second World War. We follow these two sisters, Vienna and Isabel, during Nazi-occupied France. And why is this book perfect for beginners, you ask, is because the writing is simple and yet incredibly beautiful. It's very emotional and actually very, very hard to put down. It's just so good. And it's also 100% going to make you cry, but the tears are absolutely worth it. This book is incredibly beautiful, and I would highly recommend it to each one of you because this is one of my favorite books by Christina. Next in the genre we have is The Stationery Shop of Tehran. Now this book is perfect for someone if you want a mix of history and romance. It is set in 1950s Tehran, and we follow the story of Roa and Baman who meet in a stationery shop and fall in love through letters and poetry, and basically follow lives of these two people and how political unrest in the city changes the entire course of their lives. Very simple writing, short chapters, easy to follow, and I think it's also a very short book. So if you want to get into the genre, perfect book to start with. Next is As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows. This book is a little on the heavier side. This book is set in Syrian war. So basically, we follow Salma, who's a pharmacy student and who volunteers at the hospital during the war. And the events in this book are going to break your heart. It's so sad. As I said, a little on the heavier side, so proceed with caution, but highly recommend it. Now let's move on to almost everybody's favorite genre, romance. The first book in that we have is Book Lovers by Emily Henry, by the way. Emily Henry. So in this book, we follow Nora, who is a literary agent, and Charlie, who is a book editor. So basically, Nora goes on a trip with her sister where she meets Charlie, and despite all odds, they keep bumping into each other again and again and again. And what makes this book a perfect pick for beginners is the writing. It's very simple, very beautiful. The chapters are short, and the banter between them is so fun. Also, I love the bond between Nora and her sister Libby. It's so adorable, so wholesome. Love it. Next we have is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is actually part of a series called Part of Your World, if I'm not wrong. And this is the third book in the series. और मुझे कब पता चला जब मेरी book पढ़ के हो गई थी उसके बाद. But ठीक है, I don't think that's a problem. You can read it as a standalone. But अगर तुम्हें sequence में जाना है तो पहले दो book पढ़ लेना और फिर ये किताब पढ़ना. Anyways, so we have this guy Justin who has a curse where every woman he dates ends up finding their soulmate when they break up with him. So when Emma slides into his DM with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They will date, they'll break up, and boom, problem solved. Curse is cancelled out. Now they'll find their soulmate. This book was so adorable, so sweet. Justin is the sweetest guy ever. The way he plans dates, the way he executes them, so good. Please go and read it. And last book in this genre, we have The 7 Year Slip. मैंने इस book के बारे में I don't know, I've lost the count. The amount of times I've talked about this book, it's crazy. और फिर भी अगर आपने ये book नहीं पढ़ी है तो what are you doing? What are you doing? Please drop everything and go and read this book. So basically, we follow Clementine, who is still coping with the loss of her aunt when she gets to know something extraordinary, that her apartment can magically take her back 7 years. And when it does take her back 7 years, then she meets Ivan, who is obviously very charming, very kind, and also an aspiring chef. He's very passionate about cooking. Such a heartwarming, such a wholesome book, and such a good writing. Crazy good. Now let's move on to literary fiction. First book, and that is A Man Called O by Frederick Backman. So basically, we follow O, who is grumpy, who has strict routines, and who comes across as a bitter person to everyone around him. But as the story unfolds, we get to understand why he is the way he is. It's a very heartwarming book. And one thing about Frederick Backman, you're going to fall in love with his writing. It's so humorous and at the same time incredibly beautiful. Highly recommend it. Next is another one of my favorite. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. So Eleanor is someone who lives a very lonely, isolated life and who struggles with social interactions. But as the story progresses, we understand her past and the reason for her loneliness. The writing is quiet, it's emotional, and there is a subtle humor throughout the book. And also starts off a little slow, so you have to be a little patient at least until the first 50 pages, and then it sort of picks up. So please be a little patient. It's worth the wait. And lastly, we have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book is basically about Evelyn Hugo, who's a legendary Hollywood actress and who finally decides to tell the truth about her life and her seven husbands. And you could say it's basically about love, ambition, and price of fame. And I read this book basically at the very start of my reading journey. And considering I had just started reading, this book did wonders for me. I couldn't put it down. It's so fast paced, so engaging, amazing. Also, I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was the first book that I read by her, and I immediately knew that I'm going to read every book she has ever written, which I did, except Atmosphere, which I will 100% read this year. So, yeah, I'm going to end the video here. I hope I was able to help out a little bit and contribute in your reading journey. Also, please comment down below what kind of videos would you like to see, or if you want any specific book recommendations, I would love to do it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.